Hello my friends and welcome to Paulina Art. Today I bring you the first Christmas painting of December 2025. In today's video I'm going to show you step by step how I created this fun painting with a happy snowman. If you would like to see how I created this painting step by step, stay with me and let's paint together. The colors that I used today are titanium white, deep cyan, brilliant red, medium yellow, sap green, and raw umber. Of course, you can use any blue, red, yellow, and green, and brown that you have at home. Today, I'm working on a square canvas, but you can use the same techniques that I'm going to show today on any size canvas. So I'm going to do my sketch. I have here some brown chalk, and I'm going to divide the canvas approximately in the middle here. And again, this way, approximately in the middle, going horizontally. Okay, so I have 4 quadrants of approximately the same size. And also I'm going to divide here. I'm going to do a couple more divisions, approximately in the middle here, going down. This is the area where the snowman is going to be. So I'm going to start by doing the head. I'm going to do a line here about a third and about a third here. And I'm going to do an oval. This is going to be the head. And as you can see, there's a little bit left on each side. And I'm going to measure the top of his hat. So I'm going to go from here to here. Okay, so it's going to be the same distance. It's going to be where the hat is going to stop. Okay, and I'm going to do a bit of an oval in here. It's going to be the top of the hat. And then I'm going to come down and down a little bit of in an angle both ways. And the hat is going to go to both ends here, to both sides. Okay, so we have the face and the hat. We're going to divide this circle here in 4 parts. We're going to put the eyes in here, just 2 round circles, and a little smiley face can be in here. This is going to be little circles too, going to be made out of stones. And then the nose here, going to be a carrot. You can make the nose any shape you want. I just made it as a triangle. Okay, and then we're going to do the body. The body is going to come from here. It's just going to be hitting the sides. Going to be a little bit bigger than the size of the head. And I'm going to add a scarf in here. And the scarf could be blowing in the wind if you want to, like that. Okay, I'm going to add here a poinsettia flower. Poinsettias are just made out of leaves. So if you do this shape just like leaves, it should work. We're going to add a band in here as well on the hat. And we're going to add another poinsettia in here. Center is the poinsettia is going to be right there. And I'm just going to do some leaves like this. Okay, so we have one here and one up here, and we can add some leaves, some Christmas leaves in here with some berries. We'll do the berries afterwards. There can be some leaves going this way, that way, this way. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this up to you. You can add what you want as decoration in here. So I have the snowman in here, the hat, some poinsettias, and some leaves. We're gonna add some berries later on. And we can add some buttons going down in here. Maybe I'm going to curve this line a little bit, and I'm gonna add 3 buttons. Okay, so the drawing is ready, and I'm going to do a little bit of an underpainting so the drawing with chalk doesn't go anywhere. For the underpainting, I'm going to use Raw Umber. This is Liquitex Basics, but you can use any brown or blue, any color that works for you. And I'm going to use a small flat brush. I'm going to link on the description box the brushes I like to use if you want to check it out. Got some of the Raw Umber on the brush, and basically I'm going to go over the sketch I've done here with chalk. And I do this so I don't lose my drawing. These are the leaves. And the poinsettia in here, which is basically leaves. Poinsettias are flowers made out of leaves. And I'm not going to draw, obviously. I'm not going to go over the lines that I did. I'm just going over the drawing. Okay, and here are the eyes. And the nose, just gonna be a carrot. And here. And here's a scarf. The scarf is blowing in the wind just to add some fun to the painting. And we're gonna have some leaves poking out here. We're gonna add some berries later. And the body of the snowman. I'm gonna add some buttons. And here is another poinsettia. Poinsettias are the Christmas flowers, at least in this part of the world where I live, in Canada. They are the most beautiful flowers. I can add a little bit of shadow in here from the hat. I can add some shadows on my underpainting. Maybe a shadow here from the nose. Sometimes shadows make the painting a little bit more realistic, more fun. But it's not a must. Gonna add some shadows in here, some on the sides of the body, maybe on the sides of the face. I'm going to add a little bit of color on the hat too. Just make it dark. The hat is going to be a darker color in contrast with the snowman. With a wet Q-tip, I'm going to remove some of the paint. Maybe add a little bit of shine on the hat. And I'm going to remove here where I want a red ribbon. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to move on to the blocking of the colors. With a dry brush, I'm going to remove the markings I did with chalk, so I can just see my underpainting. To block the colors, I'm going to use a damp sponge. This is just a painting sponge you can purchase via Amazon or your local art supply store, Michael's. So here are my colors. I have white, and I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Now I'm going to paint the background. I added a little more blue. I could make it a little bit darker if I want to. I'm going to apply a light layer because I have white, and white is very opaque. I don't want to cover my underpainting. And I can do the sides of the canvas too while I'm applying the background color. But I'm going light. As you can see, I can still see the underpainting. I don't want to cover all this work that I've done. And you can do the background a different color if you prefer. This is just an example. I'm not going to go over the scarf and that just because I want that to be red. I'm going to add a lot more white to the same blue. I want a lighter version, and this is going to be for the snowman. And again, I'm going to go very light. I don't want my drawing to disappear. This doesn't have to be perfect. Just so, see if we like the colors, see if the colors are going to work. And with the brush, I'm going to add red on the areas that I want red, which is going to be on the hat here, a little ribbon on his hat, the poinsettias. Okay, this is just to check the colors. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just giving us an idea of our color palette. With a damp Q-tip, I'm going to remove here the nose. The nose is going to be orange. I'm mixing here yellow and a little bit of the red to create the orange color. I'm going to put this on the nose. And I'm going to pick up the green color, and I'm going to add this to the leaves. And some on the poinsettia leaves here. The poinsettia has the leaves that are closer to the end. They can be red or yellow, different colors, pink. And the leaves that are after the top, they're always green. And maybe some green in here from the poinsettia up here. And I'm going to mix some of the blue with the brown to make this dark blue, and I'm going to use this for the hat. And again, with a damp Q-tip, I'm going to remove some. I'm going to add a little bit of a shine on the hat here, and maybe a little bit of a shine in here. And I have here the dark brown that I use to do the underpainting, and I'm going to go over and put the eyes back and the little smile and the buttons. Okay, the blocking of the colors is done. I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes and we're going to move on. The blocking of the colors is done and it's pretty much dry. So I'm going to move to the first layer of paint. And for that, I'm going to use a slightly bigger brush, as you can see. This was the first one I used. This one is much larger. I'm going to use this one for the background. And for the background, I'm just going to add the paint in a more abstract way. I'm going to add some white in here, maybe as if there's some snowflakes falling. Some blue. Basically, I'm using the blue and white so far. And I'm going to go with the lighter color around the dark areas and the darker around the edges. But I want it random. I don't want it too obvious, just random pretty much. And I'm going to go darker around here where the snowman is, so it's going to show his body. And I can go lighter where darker areas are, like leaves and stuff like that. I can add dots like this, maybe snow is coming down. I want like a fun abstract-y background. This is my interpretation. You can do your background differently if you prefer. I'm back to the smaller brush. Now I'm going to work on the hat. It's the same color I used before. I just added a little touch of white. I'm going to add a little touch of white in here just to create some dimension on the hat. But it's the brown and blue color. Adding some white here to create the shine, and here too. If the hat starts getting too big on you, you can just add some of the background color to shape it. Just like I'm doing here. Let's work a little bit on the snowman. I have white and blue, much lighter than what I used at first. I added more white on this one. And I'm going to leave some of the dark areas as shadows, like underneath the hat, underneath the nose. And on the body as well. And I can add lighter as I get closer to the center of the face. And I don't care if I go over. I just don't want to cover it completely. Don't want to completely cover what I've done. But I'm adding more white in the center of his body and the center of the face. And they're very loose brush strokes that I'm using. Okay, I have brown with blue and white, and I'm going to go back and add some of the shadows. like that. A little bit of shadow under the scarf here, the buttons, side of his body. The nice thing is that when the acrylic is still wet, when you work with enough paint on your brush, it blends very easily. Usually it's harder to blend when you don't use enough paint. Make sure you have lots of paint on your brush. Okay, it's looking good. I'm happy. I'm gonna make some red with a little bit of yellow and some white, just to make a lighter red. By adding some yellow, it still keeps the tonality in red and matte. And I'm going to add some light here to the poinsettia petals so they're not so dark. And I'm going to add some light on the ribbon, like that. Some on the side petals. And these ones. Add some highlighting to the scarf. And some of the red just at the bottom here. Let's have a little bit of contrast. And also just some of the red in here, in the center of the poinsettia. I'm going to mix some of the green with blue, create a darker green. I'm going to work on these leaves. And these can be holly leaves, and you can leave them like that, or you can change them to hollies just by adding these almost triangle shapes at the end of the leaves. Very easily like that. They look more like holly leaves if you do this. Or you can leave them simply like this and add some dark to the edges. And here I'm going to add some dark in parts of the leaves, the poinsettia leaves. And here, this can be like hollies as well. I'm going to go back to the brown and touch up the eyes. And here, just go over the dark colors again. And the buttons. Okay, the first layer of paint is done. I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes and I'll be back with you. This is not completely dry, but it's okay. I'm going to move to the second layer of paint, and I'm still using the same small flat brush. And I think I'm happy with the background. If I wasn't happy with the background, this is what I would be working on, but I'm happy with it. So I'm going to continue with the snowman, and I'm going to lighten up more the center of the face. And the body. And I'm still leaving the shadows and all the other work that I did before. I don't want to lose all the work that I'm doing. Just want to work on what I've done, add more to what I've done. Want to add more shine on the hat with the white. That. And I have here the red with orange and white. And I'm going to add some highlight to the poinsettias. And I'm leaving some of the dark. I'm only touching up some parts of the leaves of the poinsettia. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to add some highlight on the scarf. And I have more white in the same color, and I can add some rosy cheeks to my snowman. Why not? And I'm going to mix green with yellow and white. And I'm going to add some highlights on the leaves, on the holly leaves. Like that. And you see, I'm not putting the highlight everywhere. So I still want to see the dark and some of the work I've done. Mainly putting the light color where it's dark, so there's contrast. Okay. And I can always go back with my dark, like this one. I think I need more dark in here, so I'll add that. Okay. And I'm going to go back to my blue-gray and add more shadows on the buttons, on the eyes, on the nose, the side of the face. And I can add more white. Center of the face and the center of the body to be the lightest. I'm going to add some depth to the carrot nose, like that. Okay, I'm going to use the back of the brush, and I pick up some red just with the back of the brush. And I'm going to put some hollies in here. Some of the berries from the hollies. This works really well, or you can use a Q-tip. I have a damp Q-tip. I can do the same. Maybe we'll add some in here. And I'll go over this ones. Whatever you prefer. And I can add some in here. And I'm going to add some on the hat. Make your snowman very festive. And with the same Q-tip, with the clean end, I have some yellow. And I'm going to dot some yellow in there. The center of the poinsettias. Okay, I'm going to let all this dry. And I'm going to be back for the final details. Okay, I'm ready for the final details. And for that, I'm using a fine liner brush. And I have the dark brown. And I can add some branches here from the berries. I'm just moving the brush, creating the effect of branches. Make it a little bit more rustic, if you will. I like rustic Christmas decorations with branches and that. I think they look very pretty. Okay, I'm going to add some branches in here. Nothing has to be perfect. Just let the brush do its thing. This is the brown, but it's Picking some of the red from the berries. Can add some of the brown on the nose to make it more like a carrot, look. Like that. Okay. I can add more red in the center of the poinsettia, in these leaves behind. So I'm going to go back with the brown, with the dark brown, and touch up the eyes. These are supposed to be rocks for the eyes, so they don't have to be perfect round circles. You can if you want to, it's up to you. Just want my snowman to be a little more rustic. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of white, on the brown. I can add a little bit of a shine in there, a little bit of shine on the rocks. I'm going to pick up some white, and I can add a little bit of shine on the berries. This makes the berries look really pretty. Just a little bit of dot of white on the berries. And you don't have to do every single berry, but some of them. Because there is red in there, it's going to mix with the red. It's still not dry. It's going to be a nice pink color. I'm going to do all the berries. I'm barely touching the berries, really. I think this is as far I'm going to go with this painting. You can work more on your painting or do changes, whatever you like. So here is the end result, the Happy Snowman acrylic painting. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you learn something new. If you like this video, you know what to do. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.